have to start by saying apa kabar?
Apa kabar?
Yes. Oh, I didn't say it properly. How do I say it? Apa kabar?
Apa kabar?
Kabar.
You're right. That was
Pretty
perfect.
good.
Yes.
What is that? Hello?
How are you? Yeah.
How are you?
I loved this movie. The women weren't just assisting the men, they were right in with the action. They're smart and they're powerful. Do you think in Overwatch the women are equally as valued as the men?
Oh, hands down.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't think this is a gender-specific role that these characters inhabit, and yet they are still people with feelings, and they sometimes get to express them and sometimes have to deny them, but we're human beings with a lot of responsibilities that we have to navigate.
So Mark, Silver isn't your typical brooding, hard-shelled, tough anti-hero. He's more than that. What makes him more than that?
Well, he's a very, very complex individual. Here's a guy who has no life outside of his job, but he has a team that deep down inside he cares about. I think he's never made any kind of compromise other than changing the mission and going and trying to save Alice. You know, this is not the kind of normal, military branch where, every man is together and they're one, no man left behind sort of situation. This is any and every man left behind. But he is the guy who's always on. He just doesn't stop. He's very opinionated, super aggressive. But it's at the same time, when he's in combat mode, he's very slow and very meticulous. I just thought it was a fascinating character. It was one of those things where initially it was just a secondary villain, and I was going to play the part for like 2 weeks, and then it slowly became the focus of the film. We all just kind of fell in love with the idea of this part being the focus of it.
So do you guys ever think that if, director Gareth Evans hadn't walked into your training hall 10 years ago, and if Peter Berg hadn't seen and recognized your charisma in Raid, we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about Mile 22. Isn't that crazy?
100% true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Gareth Evans, that's how I found Eco. I saw his movies and I called Gareth. I'm like, who is this guy? And Gareth was very respectful of Eco and said, call him and go visit him. And that's when I first met Eco. I went to Jakarta and met with him. But it all comes from him. Gareth saw in him, in Eco, the talent. I saw through Gareth what Gareth saw, and I think many people will now see it.
Lauren, your character Alice, Silver doesn't seem to connect with anyone, but he has a soft spot for her. Can you explain this special bond?
I think that Silver sees, as much as Alice wants to deny it, I think that Mark's character sees that I have that same sort of exacting self-criticism, and that I'm just trying to fill some big shoes, and he plays on that. And I think it's like a lot of situations in life where you almost have to believe that someone's a little bit as crazy as you are so that you can persevere in your style. And we're definitely exploring characters here that don't fit well into a mold and don't fit well into, I don't really play nice in normal aspects of life. So it was really fun to do that with Mark and with Ronda and with everybody on this.
Yeah. And Silver doesn't seem to connect with anyone, but he has a soft spot for Alice. Can you explain this special bond?
Yes, I think he cares about his entire team, but he cares about the job. The job is first, last, and everything in between. But I think he wants to get Alice on the plane as much as he wants to get Eco to the plane and prevent this attack. She's a mother. And she's like a little sister to him, and she's the only one that can kind of call him on his shit, and they just have that special relationship.
Yeah. I noticed how Silver snaps a yellow band on his wrist, and then Lee Nor presses his thumb against his fingertips. Do you think these guys both use these little rituals for the same reason?
I think so. Yeah, I think they're both two different people dealing with a lot of stress, and they're under a tremendous amount of pressure, and they've found different coping mechanisms and ways of trying to kind of snap out of a more hectic mindset and be more focused. So yes, they both have different ways of dealing with their stress.
Similar. As you kind of watch the film now, you don't see really until the twist at the end what's happening. So as you get a chance to watch the film again, you really see that there's this whole chess game going on between them. So yes, similar. I wouldn't say the same exact thing, but very, very similar. Jimmy has certainly met his match in this particular situation.
And Rhonda, your character Sam isn't really a character that people would expect you to play because you're this wrestling and fighting icon. Is this what drew you to the role of Sam?
Well, the role of Sam has been very evolving since the inception of this project, but I love the direction that Pete decided to go, as he wanted to do exactly that, to catch people unexpected and to not have them. He said originally he wanted people to be surprised that they heard that was even me at the end of the movie, and to really show people that I can be an actor and not just a fighter. And I think he really set me up for success in this movie, and hopefully that's what people will see.
And there's a lot of intense fight sequences in this movie. On set, were you able to swap any moves with Iko, Rhonda, Lauren, or Peter?
Well, Peter and I, we spend so much time together that we're always fighting and wrestling. But no, I think Jimmy has a different approach when in combat. You know, again, he's very kind of slow and meticulous and doesn't try to use too much energy, but very observant, watching everything. He'll let all these guys fight, wear themselves out, and then, you know, use his weapon to do what he needs to do. But it was really cool seeing Iko because he's so talented, and, you know, obviously with The Raid and the other films that he's made, but to see him now also having a great acting part, and to see Rhonda, who everybody knows how tough she is, and to really kind of use her acting skills and her dramatic talent was a nice surprise. There's a lot of really nice surprises in the movie.
Did you guys swap any moves on set, being fighters of different styles?
I took him to a boxing gym. And,
In Atlanta?
yeah, in Atlanta and LA too.
LA, yeah, in your gym, right?
And he tries to show me his, but it's too quick for me. I can't do it.
Amazing.
It's too fast.
There are so many intense fighting sequences in the movie. On set, were you guys able to swap any moves with Iko, Mark, or Peter?
I mean, Iko's fighting style is completely different than mine. I mean, to watch him, it's like art in motion. Like he it's a completely different skill set, being able to choreograph a fight and to be able to tell a story without using words, and tell a story with just like two bodies back and forth. And it's still The Raid is one of my favorite martial arts movies of all time, and nobody compares to Iko with like storytelling with his body.
The fight scene where you're chained or handcuffed to the bed in the infirmary.
Yeah.
What was that like for you to shoot that and choreograph it? And Peter, what was it like for you to direct that scene?
You go
Yeah, you
first.
go, you go, you
What
go.
was
You
it
go.
like?
You go.
You'll hurt me. It was, the reality is, I gave an idea. You'd be handcuffed in a room, and you have to fight. And that's all I said. The rest is up to him. So I just get to be a spectator and watch, you know, I think the most talented martial artist in film do his magic.
In infirmary scene, because, you know, like, I think like every single action scene, fight scene, because Pete trusts me and trusts my team a lot. So when we did the fight, just Pete just say, just do it. So, you know, I created the choreographers like I want the fight scene. You guys, the audience, was like, it's real. No, you know, no fake, not too much wire, like a fly, you know, like because he doesn't like the lot of fake one. So I wanted the audience was like in it in the movie as well. So it's, I mean, you know, it's like great. It's nice collaborate as well with the team, and because the Pete's idea is like same vision. So me and Pete was like same vision. So yeah.
There's this theme of motherhood that runs throughout the movie on multiple levels. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I think what was so captivating to me with Alice and with the movie is this idea that we all do want someone to watch over us. I like the notion that somebody's kind of watching over me, and that's played upon in the film by the idea of surveillance, which isn't necessarily how you want it to happen, but also the idea that that team is protected by Overwatch, who's tracking their movements. And we get to get into sort of the emotional kernel of that with Alice's relationship with her daughter, because I have my access cut off from her to a certain degree in the film, and there are just so many themes within the movie that I won't even that are for people to enjoy or pick up on for themselves. But that was for me what was compelling about the role in the movie.
And did Iko teach you any Indonesian?
Just bad words.
Oh.
Yes.
All the good words, the ones you
All-
need to learn.
I know them in every language.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for talking to Hey You Guys.
Thank you.
Really
I appreciate
enjoyed
it. Hey, you guys. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,